Hey everybody, Sam here.
And Angela, and welcome to our channel.
Welcome to the Great Outdoors. And this video is going to be the beginning of a fun building series where we get to build our front deck on the home.
Yay!
Spoiler, you might see a little bit back there, so let's not show too much because in reality, we are filming this intro after the fact.
So let's get started.
Now we can plumb this one left to right so we can lock it in with the screws. 41 1/4. 41 1/4. Okay. So I carefully lean it over. Try not to move the bottoms. They're a lot closer. We got to do all this again with concrete. But this gets us very, very close. Ready to pour?
Yeah.
I think this is maybe one of the only times in our entire career of DIY we've actually mixed concrete and not dry set. I don't know that I prefer this over dry set. This
yes
doesn't.
Or no?
I don't know. This doesn't lock the posts in like dry set does.
Right.
But there's a big argument, or justification that dry set doesn't fully cure like this does.
There's no way to ever tell.
Right.
So you dig it up.
Well, on the opposite spectrum of that, it's like this is a 6x6 porch. It's not going to be,
I mean, if you push that a little bit further, it would hold it.
Yeah, but what about the other post?
I don't know. Because, yeah, it just keeps moving that back.
Let me go ahead and put concrete in this one, and then we'll see what we can do with that. I might need to brace it. I don't know. Because this 2x6 could be warped already.
Okay.
There you go. All right. Check plumb all around for me. Please. You're not saying good after every time, so you're really making me nervous.
See, now this one's pulled.
That's fine. We can go get another scrap and concrete bar. Let's make it make it right.
Sounds like pictures being taken.
You can tell when I hit that hard pan. It's a hard pan. Oh man. Oh. Well, here's how you remove a concrete spike. Hit it that way, that way, that way. And
Almost.
all right.
Okay.
Nice. A little extra work, but it's totally worth it. Welcome to day number 2 of working on the front porch. Yesterday, we got the posts set. We got them set on their little concrete cookies under the ground. And then once that was cured, set the posts in and finished out the concrete setting process. They are all rock solid, ready to go. Also, in the middle of the night, we got a torrential downpour, thunderstorms, lightning, pretty strong storm. So being out here today, it is really cool to see that we don't have any lakes around the house. That is good. It shows that, at least for the final grading, I did an okay job. We're not walking around in puddles, nothing has been eroded away, and everything looks very nice. All right, hat's going back on. Next step in this build is to go ahead and cut our posts to the correct height. We're gonna have our posts, we're gonna have a 2x6 double beam, then we're gonna have our deck framed on top of it. So I need to measure my final deck height right there at the door, subtract my deck thickness, subtract my framing thickness, and then subtract my beam thickness to give me the height to cut these 4x4 posts off level with each other. Thankfully, the span and distance between all of these posts is within the reach of my 4-foot level. So hopefully this won't be too difficult to do. Alright, so I want the final deck height to be right below that white 1x4 PVC trim at the bottom of the door. I don't want the deck to be too close to the door because we don't want water to splash and any kind of problems with that way. We also don't want it to be a full 7-inch step down, so we picked about 4 inches down and that'll work for us. I measured the thickness of my 2x6 beams and my 2x6 floor framing or deck framing and then our deck boards to give us 12-inch total. I went ahead and measured down 12 inches from where we want the final deck heights to be on the house, put a little mark. Now I'm going to use my 4-foot level and I'm going to transfer that mark from the wall, the concrete block wall, to some posts and then all around to the others to give us our final cut height. With our posts cut to their final height, I'm now going to take my Paslode cordless framing nailer and begin to build the beams that sit on top of the posts. These beams are going to be made out of 2 pressure treated 2x6 boards nailed together with the nail gun. The reason I'm choosing nails is that they are stronger, they will flex, and in this application, when attaching beams together, they're more ideal than screws. I've got some leftover from building my workshop. Yep, that thing that I have yet to finish, right? But either way, we got some 3.5-inch nails. I'm going to attach them, nail them up together here on the utility trailer, and then I will take them over and we'll attach them to the posts. I really think it's out of gas just about. We're running off. This is the same gas cylinder from the workshop build, so.
Yeah.
Well, we could stop and go to the store and get more nails, or I can break these apart and hammer them by hand. Flip it over and do the same thing. Let's zoom in here and get some nice nail action here and see if I can really mess it up at the end, right?
What happens to me?
Yeah. Hoi! It's a heavy one. A 4x6.
Other one. Oh. Feels like with that wind.
I'm very happy for the wind. We didn't have that yesterday. We had rain and sun. Rain and sun. Going to kill you. Rain and sun. A lot of people don't realize there are code approved compliant screws you can use with Simpson brackets, joist hangers, and all the such. So I want to show you guys these guys, SD strong drive connecting screws. These are code approved, IRC rated. You can use these for brackets like you're going to see me use. You can still use the nails if you want to. They're still out there, but these are correct. They're approved. So just know that this option does exist. This is also a much more controlled, easy to replace and fix type thing if you mess up. So it's why we use these. I really like them, and I just want to take a second to show you this is what we're using. These do exist. It is correct, so that, I don't know, maybe you can drop some truth bombs on somebody else, blow their minds, and then tell them, hey, I know stuff. I watch Sam and Angela do stuff. We have our beams assembled on top of our posts. Now these beams are left long intentionally. They are 8 foot wide. Our porch or deck is not going to be 8 feet wide. What I'm doing is leaving them long to trim them later. Same thing will apply to our deck boards. I guess that's it. I was about to say our floor joists, but no, that needs to be spot on. Speaking of floor joists, the next thing to do is lay them down. We also need to pin down the actual legit 100% dimensions of this deck. I planned it to be a 6x6. It is not exactly 6 feet off the house to attach our stringers to the front beam. So I don't know if we're going to keep it 6x6, if we're going to make it a little bit shorter, or what exactly we're going to do in that front. We would obviously like to have as large of a porch as possible, but I don't want to create a lot of work and additional cost and material down the line when it comes time to assemble and build the stairs. That being said, we'll scratch our noggins collectively, and then next step you guys are going to see is cutting the floor joists, or deck joists, I guess it's floor joists, the joists, and putting those into place. For this project, I'm going to be using Sam's official Crayola blueprints. This is literally a sketch pad. I drew out the framing for the deck and colored in with colored pencils to remind myself of the color coding and structures and what they are. It's also what I'm using to get my measurements and go about building this thing. So we're going to have our deck be 7 foot by 7 foot. The number 7 is pretty cool, and it allows us to use as much of our material as possible and minimize waste, because all the lengths of decking and rafter or joists and all that stuff is 8 feet long. I've got everything cut, at least everything that I've got purchased cut. I am about 4 boards short on the actual framing, floor joists and everything, but I've got enough to do my perimeter, my double rim joist, double ledger board. Well, it's not a ledger board, we're not attaching to the house, but whatever. Double up the perimeter, plus a couple of joists in the middle. So I'm gonna go ahead and start assembling the frame. We can at least get it squared, attached, locked in place, maybe just loosely in place, and at least make a little more headway before we stop everything, kill 2 hours going to the store to get some boards and coming right back. What I'm doing right now is sighting down the length of the boards and marking the crown. Crown is basically whether this board bows this way or the other way. Okay, I guess crown would be the top, like a rainbow. So I'm looking down here, picking my rainbows, putting a C on top to tell me that's my crown, and just checking all of them. The reason you do this, and you check crown with any horizontal structure on your deck, probably with the exception of your deck boards, but the reason you do this is so that as this gets under weight and under stress, if it's curved or arched upwards, it'll flatten out, if anything. If you put it on the crown upside down, it's going to sag or have a tendency to sag with the weight and usage over time. So this is a very important step to mark your crowns. And again, you do this on all of your horizontal structures. So all of our joists, our beams, we already did them on, everything of the sort. You want to make sure you have a bunch of rainbows on your porch or crown side up.
Otherwise, they're sad.
Yeah. And then sometimes you're like, I don't know, it could go either way. So you pick one and you say it's great and perfect, and that was the right one to begin with. Let's measure diagonals. 119. Ooh, 118 and 3/4. So, hang on. One 18 7/8. 118 7/8. That's about the fastest I've ever squared something like this. Okay. I mean, that was very difficult. You got a C on that end?
Yeah.
Well guys, we are out of material. I'm out of 2x6s. We've done absolutely everything we can, so we're at a stopping point. We'll have to go to the hardware store, get some more lumber. As you guys saw, we did put down our hurricane brackets, attach the joists to the beams, and everything we could for now. What do you think of the process so far?
Not too bad. As expected, the foundation was the hardest part.
Yeah, it's the tedious
Like
part.
squaring it up, and it's just...
Yeah. If you guys wonder what that putting sound is you hear in the background, the boys have a go-kart. Their papa got them a go-kart earlier this week. And so any free moment, they're out here riding around, and it sounds like a fair machine to make ice cream or something like a so that's what that noise is, in case you're wondering.
You will probably hear it in any and all outdoor videos.
Probably will. Well, we have reached the end of this first part. We got a good accomplishment done. I think it's a good place to stop here because honestly, Sam and Angela of the past have to go to the store and get some more materials. And
The story of our lives.
yeah. And you know, reality Sam editing is like, oh my gosh, let's go ahead and stop it here.
We can't have a 4-hour video. That probably wouldn't hold people's attention very well. So
Right.
this makes it a lot easier.
I think so. If you guys have any questions on what you've seen so far, feel free to leave this comment down below. Yep, obviously we have more work to do and we eventually get it done. Again, total spoiler, but I'm sorry, that's how it goes. Also, there is a link down below to the full playlist of this entire series, so if you plopped and dropped into this video, look down there, it'll take you on through to the end.
Well, guys, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on the homestead.
See you guys.
Bye.
What you doing?
Just sitting down in front of the new fan.
Nice.
Yeah.
Smells like somebody's barbecue. Hello, Jesus, it's a fire. People are gonna be like, who's that kid screaming in the background? It's a goat. The neighbor keeps it on a dog lot. My face is red because it's hot. Hey, did you know it's hot? End of July. Hot.
August is just going to be hotter.
I hope we're in the house by August. And the camera doesn't know what to do. Framing nail gun and begin to build some English. Oh, it's a lawnmower. I thought somebody was just screaming in a perfectly nice monotone. Not that couldn't happen. Alright, see the face? Yep, face is just going in the shade. It's okay. It's alright. Don't freak out. There you go. Okie dokie.
Alright, guys, we'll see you guys next time. Oh.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like wearing someone else's underwear. I've never done that, but here's my face. There's the shade. All the stuff that goes into framing the shots. Doing this one-handed, holding the saw in my hand, just to get a shot of me putting the saw down, so you guys will get to see the saw. We obviously would like to have the camera not go dark. And again, you do this on all of your floor rafters. That's not a real thing. Welcome to day number dark face. I can do that. Alright, hats off so this camera knows what to do. What? Oh yeah, these are the long ones. Okay. Better too long than too short.
Well, guys, we'll see you next time on the homestead.
What? Yeah. I guess because I already said
Yes,
if you got questions.
you did.
I totally messed up. Oh well, that works.
Well, you didn't say bye or see ya.
Oh, I didn't because I was totally thrown off. Well, you can say, well guys, thanks for watching. Again, if you have any questions,
I'm not gonna say that.
do it.